Hey everyone, it's Katie from Without a Crystal Ball. Welcome to my channel. Thank you so much for joining me. Okay, you guys, we have to talk. Last week, I interviewed Lisa of Lisa and Usman from 90 Day Fiancé before the 90 days. In my interview, Lisa talked a lot about her relationship with Usman, how they met over 3 years ago, all of their conversations online, really how they developed a relationship, and how they got to a point where they went on to 90 Day Fiancé. She said that Usman and her developed a relationship that became much more than just friends, and they began saying, I love you. And over time, the two of them decided that they needed to meet. During this time, Usman actually was the person she said that reached out to 90 Day Fiancé to get them on the show. Now, Usman is a performer in Nigeria, which has a lot of people speculating, was he seeking out Lisa for fame? Was he seeking her out to get him to the United States? Was he doing this for a visa? There's a significant age difference between the two of them. He's 31 and she is 51 or 52. And with that, he's a young man. He is never really been in a serious relationship. He would be, the type of person at this point in his life to be seeking a wife, to have children typically. So a lot of people were questioning, like, why would he go after an older woman? And a lot online, people are calling her baby girl visa, okay? So in her interview with me, she was pretty compelling. She made it sound like these two are madly in love and as though this relationship is completely legit. Now, whether or not you believe Lisa or not doesn't really matter to me. I will say I don't know because I don't trust really anyone on TV, but I will say that Lisa is a very, in my communications with her has been very forthcoming and also very kind. And so even if she is getting scammed, I don't think anyone deserves that. So I want to put that caveat out here and just to be nice to her after you see this video, because I don't think anyone online should deserve hate, especially in situations like this. Lisa did mention that she had come out of a really troubled relationship before she met Usman, and that might play a factor in how she got duped. I don't know. And I can't say that she hasn't been duped yet, but it's not looking promising, especially with what he just said in an interview with a podcast called Angela Lee Lip Service. In the interview, he sat down with three ladies and they talked about, his involvement with the show, his relationship with Lisa. He talked about things that I was just shocked. In fact, Lisa made it seem like they were completely in love, and Usman seemed to believe that he's merely tolerating her, and that he never really sought her out. He had no intention, and he still doesn't know if he will ever come to the United States. And at this point in time, his career matters more than Lisa, and that if Lisa becomes an interference in his career, he will break up with her. There was a few things in this interview. I will link the full podcast below so that you can see it in my description. But he made a couple statements in this video that I think were kind of like perplexing. And I did reach out to Lisa after this, and I'll just tell you what she said when I finish. I want to show you a clip right now, though, of him talking about his relationship and if he is in love with Lisa.
Just to get to America. You have right to your opinion. It is what you feel like. If I want to come to America, I've been dating Lisa for good 3 years. Mm-hmm.
So
I met with Lisa March 2017. So if I want to come to America, I would have come to America,
Mm-hmm. So you would say that you're in love, though?
Huh?
You're in love with Lisa, in love.
Yeah, I have to be. I'm in love with her because somebody who is being with you for almost every day, you get used to that person. And if you don't talk to that person, sometimes you miss him. So by the time you start missing somebody, definitely I think it's either you love him or you care for him. So I love Lisa.
Do you remember the moment that you fell in love?
Did you hear that? He says that when he fell in love with her, he realized that it was because he missed her. And he has to be in love with her. Not like, I think Elisa is this amazing human being. I think she has this lovely personality. It was like, I have to be in love with her, and this is sort of what it is, and that's it. Like, there was nothing like, I am in love with her. She's the love of my life. It was very matter of a fact, and it doesn't come off very in like genuine that he actually like has this like romantic relationship with her. He also talked about like, I don't even know. Like that to me sat with me wrong. And he goes on, and let me just show you what he continues on after saying that.
Do you remember what it was that you was like, man, I think I'm in love with this lady. I really feel for her.
It was from the time that I started missing her, you know. When the first time we had issue, and it's been about like 3 days, I didn't hear from her. She didn't call me. I was like, I'm missing something, you know. Like somebody I used to talk to, and this person is not talking to me today. What is happening? So I have to call her. I was like, why didn't you call me for 2 days? She was like, no, you know, it's like I'm forcing myself to you, blah blah blah. I was like, it's okay. I'm sorry. Let's just forget about that and let's continue. And that's how.
So he says that when he was missing her is when he realized he was in love with her. So he didn't talk to her for a few days, and then he decided he was in love with her. That's weird. But then it's really, what I think is odd is that he talks about later on in this podcast, around the 33-minute mark, about sort of how this relationship developed. And, you know, during this video, he was pretty cagey about, you know, what the status of the relationship is, whether or not they're married. He doesn't wear a wedding ring because he says that that's not something they do in his culture. He talked about how, you know, he and Lisa, when they arrived in Nigeria, it was her idea to get married, not his, and that he decided to go through with it to make her happy. It almost sounded like he was doing a lot of this to make her happy and not necessarily because he wanted to. He talked about how Lisa has interfered with his career, and that has caused a lot of issues because his career matters more to him than Lisa, and that it's more important for him to be able to be successful in his music career than it is to be with Lisa, and that if she continues to be jealous like this, he'll have to break up with her. And he said that multiple times. But there's this point in this video where he gets really odd, where it's really odd to me, and I'm just like, wait, what did you just say? And this is how he talks about Lisa in regards to his relationship with her and how he came to continue the relationship. And it doesn't sound like it has anything to do with being in love.
And I know it's not easy for her to just pick her bag and say she's coming to Nigeria. So I was like, it's okay. Let me just accept that love. So after some time, I was like, this cannot continue. We spent about 1 year. You telling me that you love me, and I was saying that I love you. But deeply in me, I know it's not love. I don't love you for real, honestly. But I do that to make you happy. I do that to make you happy, to calm you down. So Lisa started, trying to hang herself, commit suicide. I was like, no. My father is an imam, and we were taught in a way that it's good for you to please somebody. It's better I tolerate her, problems, all the headache she's giving me, and make her leave than for me to say I didn't love her, then she go and kill herself. So I was like, it's better for me to tolerate that, then she live life. I have the word that I make somebody to live life.
Did you hear that? He says that about a year into the relationship, he wanted to end things, but he says that she made she said that she was going to do something to hurt herself, and that he doesn't want her to do that. So rather than her doing that, he says that he is staying in this relationship because his father is a imam, he said, and that you should do things to please other people. And so instead of walking away from her with the threat that something could happen to her, he said that he stayed with her because he wants to make sure that she lives, and he'll tolerate her bad behavior and the fact that he doesn't really like her because of that. That doesn't sound like love. That just sounds odd. I don't really have anything more to say about that.
say, no, I don't love you, and she go and kill herself because of me. So that is how it happened. After meeting with 90 Days Fiancé, I applied for that. The Lisa started making arrangements for her to come down, and she must come to Nigeria. When Lisa was coming to Nigeria, she was like, she's coming to meet me, and I was like, I don't know what is going to happen. But even after Lisa came down to Nigeria, she was still talking about, getting married to me. And I know this is not going to be easy.
So he admits that when she gets there, she wants to get married, but he says that it's not going to be easy for her. So he says that he's still going to try to do this for her. But it's and then he shows his ring and he says he's not married. He doesn't wear rings because they don't do that in his culture. But at a point later on in the conversation, he actually talks about how he needs to have children and Lisa can't give him children.
It's like you got trapped into a relationship.
Pity.
Honestly, I can say yes.
Man.
That's what it sounds like. You got trapped into this relationship and you got stuck in it, and then you felt bad about it.
I'm sorry, Usman. That's awful.
So obligated.
See, the point here is that I am doing this to make Lisa happy.
What about making
What about you?
happy?
Are you happy?
Yeah, I think
You found
time is
after
coming.
the fact?
What I believe, listen, what I believe, because if you check it at the point is that Lisa cannot give me a child, and I need a child. But if I do this to make her happy, maybe time is coming that I'll have chance, because in my religion and in my culture, I'm allowed to get married to 4 wives.
Okay, so he says that Lisa can't give him a child, and so therefore he can take another wife, and it's impossible for her to give him a child. Obviously, that ship has sailed due to her age, and so therefore, because of his culture, he can have up to 4 wives. Now, when they press him about that, he says, they're like, well, Lisa's not going to tolerate that, and he said, it doesn't matter what Lisa wants. This is what I can have, and this is what I'm going to do, and it's my decision. And so he says that, if he wants to have a child, which he has to have a child, he can't do that with Lisa. So therefore, he will have to add another wife, and she'll have to either be okay with it or divorce him. So I feel like maybe some of this stuff is lost in translation, but that part cannot be lost in translation. It's very clear, and I said this before, that in this culture, family is super important, and most men are going to want to have kids. And if they are in a polygamous world where he can have as many wives as he wants, sure, he can have an older wife, but then he has to have a younger wife. And Lisa from the United States, I don't think she's going to subscribe to that. And if he's coming to the United States, he can't have 4 wives here, so he couldn't do that here. So if he comes here, he can't do that. He also said that he has he's like in no hurry to go to the United States because his career in Nigeria is actually successful. And because of that, like, if he went to the United States, he'd have to kind of start over. He wouldn't be able to work for 6 months. He'd have to get a work visa. And then his career in his music career there wouldn't necessarily translate here. So is he a Yahoo boy? Is he using her for all of this? Is this him being shady? Was there miscommunication? Does she even know about the stuff related to him saying that I stayed with her so that she'll stay alive? All of this just sounds so sketchy. Now, I reached out to Lisa and she was shocked by this interview and didn't really have much to say because she doesn't want to break her non-disclosure agreement, but also said that she'll have to talk to him because some of that doesn't sound right and people will believe whatever they want. At this point, we won't be able to get the full details about this relationship until the show is over. So clearly he might have said things that are outside of his NDA by releasing some of this information, but he didn't say they were divorced. He also didn't say they were married. And he didn't really say that he was in love with her because he loves her. So tell me what your thoughts are. You can watch the full video by clicking the description down below. Are you believing that he actually is in love with her, or does this all sound like, I don't want her to do anything bad to herself and I'll just stay with her to make her happy? Usman, if you really feel this way and if this is what you're doing, you should just let her go because nobody deserves to be in this type of situation. Lisa is a grown adult and she will be fine and she's not going to hurt herself. I highly doubt. So just, I don't know. We'll never know other side because she doesn't want to comment on it. So tell me what your thoughts are. Do you believe Usman or do you believe Lisa? I want to hear it. All right. Bye, guys.